Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It is currently about 6:10 p.m. on a Wednesday evening. And I'm going to do a trial pack of my books. I just want to see how much they all weigh. And so I kind of thought that maybe y'all would like to join me. I'm exhausted. So is the car. They said, yes, you are. I'm super tired. I have been up since like 5 a.m. I am not a morning person. My sleep schedule has been an absolute nightmare recently. I've just been like stressed thinking about and preparing about the move, and I'm knowingly probably making it a lot harder on myself than I need to, but I like things to be done a certain way, and a bit of an overachiever, so that's pretty sick. Yeah, I woke up at 5. I'm exhausted. Thought I would maybe want to have a nap, but alas, that was in like danger territory because I was thinking I would most likely not wake up before maybe like 2 a.m. with my lights on and not knowing what my name was. So I decided to kind of push myself and do a trial pack of packing my books. I want to see how much they all weigh. I want to see how screwed I am, essentially. Again, I'm sitting in my corner. My corner of piles of books. I would say I own a decent bit, but it's probably not a lot to some people. So they're my art books and my literature that I have. I admittedly would love to take all of them. However, is that likely? Unsure. Will I try? Yes. I think I've swallowed the pill that I will be taking a couple bags home. Also, for context, I forgot to mention this. This is important. I currently live in... I'm so tired. Is this a good idea? I don't know. I currently live in Tokyo, in Japan. I've been living here for 4 years, working as an English teacher in a high school. And it was a lot of fun, and the time has come for me to move back to Canada. I'm moving back to my hometown. It was a decision that has been a long time coming, like 8 years in the making, and I'm very excited about the move. And equally, well, I'm also stressed about it. Putting everything you own into two suitcases, when you love to read, collect photography books, and like beautiful traditional things is it's not particularly easy, I would say. I sew. I have a very sentimental attachment to my sewing machine. Pals who were at my 25th, 6th birthday would know what I'm talking about. And you know, I make clothing, I sew my own clothes, I like beautiful kimono silk fabric. There's just a lot of stuff, you know? Anyway, I'm rambling. So this is the pile that I am absolutely keeping. Questions, maybe won't keep. My photo books that I'm absolutely keeping. Honestly, the photo books alone are probably valued at like maybe $700. One of the books was like $250 at least. No, I'm still lowballing that. Anyway, what do we see? I have my gorgeous little yellow suitcase that I just bought on the ground here. I don't think you can see it. First of all, the photo of my mom and my nanny. Bless her. It's original photo. Okay. I'm going to start with the books that I'm like absolutely will not be able to live without to some degree. Which are not these two. Should put these in this pile. Sweet Bean Paste, Dorian Tsukagawa. Tokyo Ueno Station by Yumuri. Miri. Not Muri. Just not impossible in Japanese. Tokyo Ueno Station broke me an everyday onigiri book. Brave this looks wild. Braving the Wilderness by Brené Brown. She's excellent. Highly recommend her work. Detransition Baby. This novel broke me. It remade me. It broke me again, and it remade me again. Just, I want to actually read this again and do a standalone review. I stumbled upon voice note messages that I left for myself. And remembered that I wanted to do a review on it. This was like months ago, before I started this. Flipping stunning. That is definitely coming with me. Kitchen by Banana Yoshimoto. Loved it. Has a couple problems with it, but I do love it. Hunting by Stars by Sherry DeMaline. Ooh, I don't know how you pronounce that name. I'm sorry. It's the sequel to A Marrow Thieves. I have a couple qualms with this, but still probably a favorite series. The first book is incredible. Speaking of which, where are you? Marrow Thieves. You are here. This one of the best books I've ever read. The sequel is disappointing, but mildly redeemed itself. I say that mildly redeemed itself. This is a story kind of set in a world where it's set in Canada, and something has happened. Like, there's been ecological destruction. The world has fallen apart at the seams, and it's basically been nearly destroyed by global warming. And essentially, it's been discovered that the indigenous people of North America still have the ability to dream while sleeping, to dream while everyone else has lost that ability. And so these indigenous people are now being hunted for their bone marrow, and which has the key in it. And the residential schools in Canada have been reinstated for this hunt. It's written by a Métis author. This book broke my brain. It is incredible. I'm excited to see where she still takes the series. It was meant to be a standalone, and she got so much love for it that she continued writing, and then later admitted that, of course, it could never have just been a standalone book. So, that is an absolute. Oh, I don't want to be choosing books. Don't want to choose. The Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. Phenomenal. Don't really read a lot of horror. It's like an indigenous horror book about these men who are essentially being stalked and hunted by something that is from their past, from when they were hunting and were irresponsible. Well, they admit it. They did not respect the hunt. They're essentially hunted by an elk, and The Good Indians charts nature's revenge on a lost generation that maybe never had a chance. Cleaved to their heritage, these parents, husbands, sons, and Indians, these men must fight their demon on the fringes of a society that has no place for them. Don't read a lot of horror thrillers, but it was incredible. I need to figure out some more adjectives. I always tell my students that. Whoops. Severance. Excellent. This book, this is wrapped up. It is the prison memoirs of a Japanese woman of Fumiko Kaneko. She, this is a real book. This was written by her while she was, it's just like this black, I'm not going to take it out. It's just like a black fabric cover. She wrote this while she was in prison after being falsely accused of trying to kill the emperor. She is of Japanese and Korean descent, and just it was the sort of thing where I was reading it and thought that this could not possibly be real, because just so much terrible things happened to this woman. And yet she persevered for her, you know, desire to learn and to go to school and to be educated, even though she wasn't legally considered a person until she was like 12 or 13 and then abused at the hands of her grandmother in Korea. Ooh, maybe she's not of Korean descent. No, her family is Japanese but lived in Korea during the Japanese occupation. I misspoke. I read this a year or two ago. I still think about it all the time. A friend gave this to me, so Camila, if you're watching this, I appreciate that. Last night in Nuuk. I will not try to pronounce this name. Maybe I will. Niviak Corneliusen. Should really check this before I put them up. Set in Greenland from an Indigenous writer. Very interesting. It was an interesting format as well. Not a favorite, but I do keep it because I respect the way that it was written. And also, I've never read anything else from Greenland. So, respect. This one by dear Kai Chen Tom. Fierce Femmes and Notorious Liars. A dangerous trans girl's fabulous memoir. I read this during the start of the pandemic. Kai Chen Tom is fearless with the thirst for revenge and trans girls looking after each other in a world where no one else gives a shit. Also, look at this cover. I'm not going to go too much into every book, but ooh, another Talk to Me, an anthology of Arctic horror stories. Arctic horror stories written by Indigenous writers. Talk to Me is an Inuktitut word that means in the dark. And they're stories by Northern writers, and it dives into the danger and the darkness of the Arctic. And again, I don't read horror. I don't really read thrillers. Oh God, this is like a trip down memory lane. I haven't read a lot of these for a while. I love short stories thanks to this. It brilliant, bloody brilliant. Ooh, also Nitizenak by Lindsay Nixon, another one of my favorites. A lot of my favorite books are from the Indigenous writers that I know. I did a Native Literature Reading Challenge that was started by, I might get this Instagram handle wrong, Native Girls Can Read, which I found via the Storygraph. And so there were a lot of books and recommendations uploaded to each prompt, and that's where, you know, this one and The Good Indians, The Only Good Indians, and Talk to Me, and The Last Night in Nook. That's where I got a lot of these. And and I also have Johnny Appleseed, but a friend is borrowing it right now. Will probably always stay favorites. Incredible. But particularly Tizinak and Johnny Appleseed, talking about being queer, genderqueer, and Indigenous. Basically queer rave parties in Alberta. This book kind of saved me when I was going through a rough patch while living here. And I almost moved back to Canada on a whim because of it. Because I missed being queer and going to raves and being free and all that shit. All that jazz. In the prairies, in my own context. That's a whole other can of worms. James Baldwin, Giovanni's Room. Do I have to say any more? Another fave. And Exhalation by Ted Chiang. Again, short stories. I got this for like $1 at a random book sale. Thanks again to my friend Andy, who recommended it and who was with me. I haven't read any other of Ted Chiang's work, but yeah, it broke my brain a little bit. Again, short stories that really made me think. Blackwater Jupiter by Zen Cho. Look at how beautiful this cover is. Actually, that's how I ended up buying it. I saw it in the bookstore, did a double take, and was like, I have to read this. It's stunning. Stunning. So difficult. be not that bad. Sleeping on Jupiter by Arundhata Roy. Arundhata. I adore her. Why do I never remember? I need to read this again. I read this about 3 years ago and I don't entirely remember it, but her other book, An Atlas of Impossible Longing, is still very high on my list. I read it like 6 or 7 years ago and I still think about it. So I'm gonna keep this even though I don't entirely remember it. Okay, what else do I have for? These are all coming with me. These are, oh, that's a maybe pile. Photography by Susan Sontag. This was a gift. I've read this before in university. It was a gift by a dear friend, and he even signed it for me. By Massimo. Crazy guy, crazy dude. I have an anthology, Morning Anthologies, collection of poetry and prose on grief. This I think will still definitely come with me. Ooh, difficult. This is difficult. Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. Recently purchased a sequel. The Deep. Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. Ta-Nehisi Coates, Between the World and Me. All of these definitely coming home. Basically, I don't really own, like, I own stuff, but I don't know. I don't feel bad about owning books. As my friends always say, when I feel bad about spending money, there are worse things to spend your money on. So, c'est la vie. Okay, let's keep going through. I do have good taste, and I know people have their opinions on these books. I do really enjoy Sarah J. Maas's writing. It's kind of a bit of a comfort read. It's great escapism, and I enjoy it, and reading is all about that. So, also, my mom is a huge, like, YA reader, and I think she would enjoy this series. She's the one who got me into reading, and I think she'd enjoy it. She also enjoys, like, fairy and, you know, the fae and all that kind of stuff. I also have, again, we're being optimistic. Not entirely sure if these will make it. I have the full Skyward series. That's by Brandon Sanderson. I astral projected to these while drunk on a night out. It's another story for another time. First book is the best. Other ones, mixed feelings. Didn't really like Cytonic that much. Loved the first one though. So, excited to see where the series goes. I have my own critiques of that. Okay, let's try this jam roll in here. I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to move my camera because my tripod is too janky, but just my literature of all of the Yes books are on one side of this suitcase. I don't know how I'm ever gonna do this. I can't ship my books home also before people get all up in my business about that or whatever, but can't ship right now. Thanks, Corona. You have done so much for me. I'm doomed. Whatever. Wait check. Crying. I don't want to get rid of any of these. New photo books that I bought on a whim. Don't really know these people. I have Not Six by Irie Nagashima. When I actually do pack all of these, I'm going to be wrapping, and they're going to be more wraps and stuff to handle the ride. I have My Husband by Takuko Ushioda. Bought that brand new, but it was used, so it was cheaper. I have Dayanita Singh, museum collected by hers. My own books that I need to deal with. Oopsie. Oh, these are notebooks, diaries. I have to check those, but for now, we'll go in on the weight check. This is, I realize I often see it. It's not a pack of cigarettes, it's actually a photo book of images found in the Beijing. Hold on a second. It's called Until Death Do Us Part, and it focuses on the role that cigarettes play in Chinese weddings. And the photos are from the Beijing Silver Mine Project, an archive of 500,000 negatives salvaged over the years from a recycling plant at the edge of Beijing. This is published by Zazi Press. Super rad. I hope to do I haven't really gotten to filming videos that are on my photo books, but that is to be seen. Okay, I have zines, ooh, a photo book essay, self-portraits by Yurie Nagashima. You can tell that I'm a fan for work. Some old postcards. Oni, I have your zine. Hope you're watching this. And again, another one of my books, my photo books that I published. I still have a bunch that I haven't sold, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. But you know, it's okay. Ooh, this is where the weight is really gonna get rough. What is this? Illustrated plants from the Edo period. A really cool book on that design of houses. Keto mix. I got a lot of these. Published Endless Night 2001 by Miyako Ishiuchi. Beautiful. What else do I have here? Ooh la la, these are heavy. Yeah, bye. Comment to dire adieu by Aya Fujioka. I don't actually, I'm not sure the kanji. Another beautiful book. One of the books by Araki. I basically only like the work with his wife. This is one of those. Oh, these are heavy. I don't know what I'm ever going to do. Badlands by Tomi Cole. Unclear. Tokyo and My Daughter by Takashi Oma. It's not actually his daughter, it's a friend's daughter. Don't really know why he went down that route, per se. Shoji Ueda book on Kawasaki, and a bunch of hip-hop artists. It's called Kawasaki Photographs. This is by... what? Mayumi Hosokura. Seiichi Furuya's memoirs from 1955. I have another one from the memoir series back in Montreal. Thank you, Paul, for taking care of my babies that I left with you. Oh, this is not good. Not good. Oh, la la. Catalog from the Photography Museum. What else? Another catalog from the Suntory Art Museum, more traditional stuff. Y'all, I'm telling you. I am telling you. Oh, not good. This entire suitcase is about to do. I don't even think I can fit everything in this entire suitcase. Nate got me this book of Japanese people, and old Japanese people in the countryside just doing cool stuff. It's very graphic, it's very fun, lots of design elements. Japanese photography. This is the catalog from the first show that was at MoMA that basically brought the life of Japanese photography to the Western world. Huge. I read about the exhibition in other books on Japanese photography. And I found this used for like $40. So I kind of had to take it because how cool is that? Like, it was so instrumental in bringing Japanese photography to the fore, you know, in Western European minds. And has some beautiful photographs that I've never seen by artists that I'm not familiar with. And it's really old too, so like, how beautiful is that? It's gorgeous. That is that one. I'm nervous about packing these eventually when it comes down to it. Move some of these boys around. Probably should have started from the bottom of this pile where the fattest, widest books are. No. Do you hear that? Thump. Definitely not gonna be that. Ah! I don't know what to do. Yeah, I hate this. This beautiful, beautiful book by Momo Okabe, I think. If I remember correctly. Oh, hold up. I need to remember. Published by Mandarake. Super random. Momo Okabe. Yeah, El Matar is the title of this. Their work is amazing. I have this Summer's Day by Joel Meyerowitz. Found this at for use in a shop in Osaka when I first arrived. Catalog, Awakenings, Art and Society in Asia, 1960s to 1990s. This is one of the best exhibitions I have seen in my life to date. Very political and informative. What else do we have? This I got from Book Off for like $2. A famous painter, Kataoka Tamako. A retrospective, I believe this was at like in Yokohama somewhere. I've never heard about her, but she was really influential and it kind of blew my mind. Again, new adjectives. This hefty boy, not sure if she'll make it. Kuroda Seiki. Basically used impressionist techniques to paint Japanese subject matter after he studied in France and came back to Japan. However, it's a hunky boy. I do love this book. I have to make a cut. I do believe that is on the list. Again, the catalogs are really cheap at the photo museum, and I also got this used, so just good reference points. Ooh, I have another book by Yumi Hosakurai. You can tell that I love her. Crystal Loves Starlight. Crystal Loves Starlight. On sex love hotels. I have the re-edition of Provoke. Very instrumental for Japanese photography. The Absence of Two. By someone who I don't remember the name of at the moment. Akihito Yoshida. This book, one of my favorite publications. Found it randomly, had to buy it. Don't know much about the photographer, but his cousin lived with his grandma. His grandma was very ill and old, and his cousin used to take care of her. And then, so the photographer went to go to take pictures of his grandmother essentially before she passed away, and so also took photos of his cousin. And the family expected to lose the grandmother first. She was old and ailing, and lost the cousin first. And he kind of disappears one day, and it's not clear what happened to him until some time later. Absolutely stunning. Again, another Shoji no Ueda. Navy. This is by Yang Sung-wook. I met him at the Tokyo Art Book Fair. I've been following him for a while. Book on family. Grandparents. Whatnot. Liberty Theater by Rosalind Fox Solomon. I wasn't really familiar with her work, but I got this on sale at Etsaya. The tea site in Daikanyama, and so bizarre. I love this book. It's so much not the usual style that I go for. I usually go for really like emotional and nostalgic and like emotionally saturated images, but this is, it's just bizarre and it's so bizarre. Rongrong's Diary, Beijing East Village. This is published by Stidel from the Walter Collection. Yeah, a collective of artists in the famous Beijing East Village. I actually had already known and loved a lot of the artists in here, and I wasn't aware when I bought this book that they were all friends, which was really cool. It's kind of great when you discover that your favorite artists are friends with each other. Okay, let me see. No. Okay, not all of them are gonna make it in here. It's okay. Let's just, oh, and then I have my jean. Oh la la. I have my zine stack. This isn't even all. I still have other, my other more recent purchases minus the first stack. My zine pile, both by friends and people that I got just throughout the years. Also the Tokyo Art Book Fair, the first year, not the year that I tabled at it. I'm gonna just like pop this stack. Will I? Can I do it? You know what? You know what? I'm glad this is a practice round, because holy shiza. Y'all. Like you're watching my soul drain out of me on camera. Okay, not everything's gonna make it in here. Let's just do I'm not even gonna be able to look this up. Can I close it? I do not recommend loving books, and specifically photo books. I think I could maybe get away with just the literature. And having to move abroad during a pandemic when you can't set anything on the post. Would not recommend, my friends. This is why I randomly wake up at 5 a.m. on a Wednesday. Okay. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ah! Of course. Of course. Hours later. I just got a new suitcase. It doesn't have a zipper. It has like fancy clothes, claspy thingies. I had to figure out that. Oh. I am so screwed. Okay. I'm not emotionally ready for this. I'm so not ready for this. Oh my god, I don't know if I can lift this up. That might have read 34 kilos. Yeah, 34 kilos. over 50 pounds. What is that? About 60 pounds, I reckon, I think. When lifting books, protect your back. Okay, I'm gonna cap it. It's around 34 kilos. I don't even have all my books in there.